Ah, ah, ah. Obinasomo, ineme obinasom. You made everything brand new, everything brand new. Butterflies in my belly, obinasomo, ineme obinasom.
So you're welcome to GB Interactive Live, your weekly dose of edifying and inspiring conversation with some of your faves in the gospel scene. On this interactive session, we have conversations that matter. We're going to hear stories that touch from ministry that are literally like inspiring. I want to also make it known that this conversation is recorded and made available on YouTube at GB Interactive. You can also listen on your favorite podcast platforms as Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, as well as Amazon Music. So today, my guest is very dear to my heart because there is a lot of history. I'm a beneficiary of his mentorship. He's a very refined vocalist, very known for his tone and his abilities to put harmonies, very interesting harmonies together. He is an international background vocalist, a cover artist. We're going to ask about that. A cover artist who loves God, and he has been a great part of very, very, huge ministries in this country. When we mention the top gospel ministries in this country, Prince has worked in diverse ways, one way or the other, with some of them. And I'm very excited to invite none other than the Presec, Acheampong. Good evening, Prince.
Good evening.
Yeah, please, how are you doing?
I am fine. Thank you. And you?
I'm also fine. Thank you. Let's begin from the period before Presec. So, growing up, how was growing up like? And then tell us how music found you.
I grew up with 4 siblings and then my 2 parents. And we had some other people also living with us. So I always grew up in a large family setting.
Okay.
So that was basically, and it was very cordial, it was very fun, and a bit musical because both parents raised us in Christianity, and we would have morning devotions here and there, and we would sing. My father was a singer, my mother also a singer. So it was interesting. That was when music found me. I mean, because I grew up in that setting, it was normal for me to just be musical. Although not all my siblings are musical. Interestingly enough, I realized that I particularly liked music more. There was a general interest in music. My oldest brother liked the instrument side of it. And my 2 sisters were also singers. They sang at one point in time. I mean, but I kind of took it a bit further, even at a very young age. I sang in Sunday school at some point. And then I started doing recordings right from Sunday school. I remember my father bought me a tape. I think I've mentioned it to someone before. My father bought me a tape, or he had a tape, gave it to me, and gave me some cassettes. Those days, cassettes. I'll just press record or record what I have to sing, and then I'll replay it and sing another part to it. So just at that early stage, I was quite musical. Yeah.
I didn't know the family was musical. I thought you were the only black sheep.
Oh no, the family is musical. Just that most of them didn't take it too far. My father, in the Church of Pentecost, my father was a chorus leader.
Okay.
So, yes, no, autonomy. And my mother was in a vocal band.
Wow.
Back in the day, serious auto singer, now tenor or bass. And my older sister too was in one of the big choirs back then when we were in Tema West District, Fountain of Praise. My older sister was an alto singer, and the sister I follow also happened to be a singer. Like, she was also in a group when they were also growing up. She was in a group. I've forgotten the two other ladies she was in the group with, but they were also singers. And I remember when we were much younger, my sister and I, the one I follow, and I would be the ones who would be washing the dishes when everyone has finished eating. And the two of us would be singing and making melodies and harmonies in the kitchen. And so we were all musical. Yeah.
My next question was going to be if there were avenues when you were young to explore the talent, but you've listed so many ways that in a way you are exploring. So
even and one other avenue was also in school, in primary school. I think my mates realized that I had the talent. So whenever there was a habit of the teacher calling out one person to sing when it was someone's birthday, and they'll say, "Oh, who has a nice voice?" And they all shout, "Praise, praise, praise, praise." Then I'll get up and I'll sing, and usually the teacher will be amazed if they are hearing it for the first time. And I think in class 5 too, I created a singing group called the Joyful Singers.
I thought you were going to say most of it happened from Presec.
Oh no.
It's like new.
Okay. Oh no. By the time I got to Presec, I had some foundation.
Okay. So let's continue from there. You had some foundation, but what was music like again in Presec? Then chip in the next kind of competition, and tell me how your time there has in a way contributed to your sound or
Presec actually is a very musical school. And especially with my time there, it was a very musical experience because we had, obviously the school choir, we had the praise and worship team, we had the SU choir, we had house choirs because there was a singing competition for the house. We had the house choir competition, and my house won consistently. I think it was just one time we didn't win. As long as I was in the school, I'm not saying that it's because of me we won, but I'm saying that for the period of time that I was in the school, we won almost every inter-house singing competition. So the place was already ripe for musical growth or for musical exploration. I formed a group myself later, getting to final year, and I was a soloist too. I joined the praise and worship team. All these made it possible for me to explore the music very well. The only mistake I made was not taking advantage to learn an instrument very well. I know the basics of keyboard. I know some chords, and not playing, but just theory. I know some chords and all that, but the playing I did not take advantage of.
And right now, if you don't feel like learning it, it's a bit too much.
No. I actually, the desire is still there, and I will actually learn it. The only thing, I was even telling someone yesterday, 2 days ago, that the only thing that has kept me from properly learning it is I want to buy the keyboard.
Let's come to KNUST, where I met you, and my life has never been the same. So KNUST, I remember you were Masquerade MD, King's Grace MD. Back home, you were MD for Impact. You were with Chrissy Otin at the time. How are you juggling all of this together? And most importantly, how did you become like the suitable person for all these positions like at that time? Do you think it's something that you did? Did somebody groom you for it? Like, for people who might want to also find themselves in such areas, what do you think they should do? I know it's packed, but you can take from any angle.
Okay, so me, when I go to school, KNUST, I never had the ambition to be a background singer for any artist in mind. And I just knew I loved to apply my touch to music. I just enjoyed playing around with music, with melodies, and one thing about me is that I listen a lot to music, and I listen wide. I have a wide range of a music library. I have a folder for just instrumental music. I listen to a cappella, choral music, classical music. So I was just building up my musical library. I just loved to imitate. When I hear something and it's good, I'll try to reproduce it to the best of my capabilities. And I did not know by then that doing that was building my own capacity. Everyone has a different level of talent. Someone can do the same thing but will experience growth slowly. Someone may also be quick to get something, to improve, to grow. So we are all different, just that maybe someone would have to put in more effort, have to be more consistent, in order to achieve a certain level of growth. But basically that was what I was doing. And it just so happened that at the time the opportunities came to me, they found me to be good enough for what they needed. So I didn't set out per se. When I went to KNUST, my mind was to go and get first class and leave. I didn't have time for a lot of things. Like in my first year, I did not care about a lot of things. Like I didn't have the time for a lot of things. But the music too was a big interest and a big passion.
Found you.
I wouldn't necessarily say it found me. The passion was there, and I knew I would be involved in the music because it was in first semester that Pensa, so to speak, discovered me. Because when I don't know, I'm sure you know the story. I went for I was just going for a normal result, and then someone had told the MDD then about me, and then he also recommended that I go for, at that time they were preparing for drama play, so he recommended that I go for the audition for the lead singers. Can you imagine? So he gave me one of the songs to learn, and then I went. Everyone was singing, and the judges didn't seem to be impressed so much. Then I went there and I sang it my own way. And
I was going to ask, so do you think it was purely talent or preparations that you've done in the past kind of made you suitable for those opportunities?
You know, talent. We know that talent alone has never been enough. Talent is just potential, in my opinion. If you don't build on it, because I had to learn music theory in order to know some chords. I had to learn music theory in order to understand some things in music. I had to listen to a wide variety of music and apply some of the things I learned. So your talent will demand a certain effort from you if you really want to be serious, if you really want to grow in your gift, in your talent. It kind of applies to everything.
Were the room recordings one way that you were applying the talent or putting the talent to use or pruning it?
Definitely it was. It was a whole new experience for me. You know, I mentioned earlier that I was doing some of these recordings much when I was younger. I had a tape. I'll just sing the main melody, and then I'll harmonize along with. I'll play back. I'll harmonize. But in first year, actually, it was a friend of mine, Joe. He became my roommate. He was my course mate, a friend of mine, and he actually got the app. That time we were using Audacity. Even till now, I like Audacity. He was using Audacity, and he created a harmony. He sang and did all the three parts, and it was interesting to me. So I took the app. Yeah, I took the app, and I thought to myself, what can I do with this? because a lot of things happen in my mind, and I like to see how it will play out. So that was an opportunity for me to start doing something. So I just got the app, started recording, and I mean, pick a song, try to modify it. I never really would pick a song and then just sing it straight. Maybe I did that in the early stages, but the ideas were just coming to me. I'll just pick the song and I'll do something to it. And for the very first, let's say, months, I don't even know whether year, let's say months of it, I was just doing it for my own pleasure, just exploring my own potential. And then it was later I thought, let me start putting this out and see what people will also think of it. And when I started doing that, I got really good feedback. Sometimes people will be so amazed, and I'm even surprised. Like,
have you listened to them again? Like, if you listen to them today, they still sound like somebody will work on today.
Yes, I listened to them, to some of them not too long ago, because I have them all in one folder, and I'm doing some new recordings, so they're all in that folder. And I go back and I listen to them, and sometimes, and because I'm very critical of myself and of music in general, so when I listen to them, sometimes I just laugh, or sometimes I'm just, I don't know, it's a mixture of feelings.
Yeah. Then one of them got picked to be Overflow's very first single.
Yes.
Do you remember working on that song? And then did you think it was going to get that far? Because I think he'd been performing on some international stage with crowd.
Well, like I said, I was not doing any of these things to get some deal or to get some opportunity. I was just sharing my gifts with people, just sharing what I could do with people. So when I would do it, those times it was more of audio recordings. I would do it, and then I'll post it on my various pages, and people will wonder, hey, did you do, let's say, the low part? Did you do the high parts? Then I mean, did you play the keyboard? Although I didn't do the instrumentation or anything, but it was just all vocals for me. I did that one. I remember the original recording wasn't even really so good, but I can't really remember how exactly J Loops got that recording and contacted me. He said he wanted us to do it together. But I was really excited because, especially at that time, Overflow was also becoming really big. It was the equa, like young, talented group. So I was really excited to do that with them. I remember the day we went into the studio. All their great singers were there. Acheampong, Nyonyam, Angela. I think Naya was there. Isaac. I mean, the original squad. They were all there, and it was a nice session. Although I was really nervous. I was very, very, very nervous. In fact, I think I'm nervous 90% of the time, but just that it probably doesn't show. It was a very fun experience. The recording went late into the evening a bit, but it was fun. But the interesting thing is that I also really didn't think that my take on it, when I listened to it again, I feel like I could have sung something better even a few days after. I feel like I could have sung it better, but I mean, it's okay.
Some people are lost, and I know you don't like it, but this is the song we're talking about. This is the original one.
The original, yes, this is the original. How have you kept this all these years?
I have all of them, bro.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Then the original, the one with Overflow too.
It's okay.
It's okay. Let me play the one with Overflow. Oh, I wish I can play all, but you have to continue.
See how I'm judging myself in my mind.
The way you're rolling your eyes, So there was no point that you were part of Overflow.
No, I was actually never part of Overflow, but a lot of people thought I was part of Overflow because of that collaboration. A lot of people maybe would meet at an event and say, "Oh, Overflow." You said, "Guy, not Overflow." No, and I never really was part of Overflow. Actually, at that time, I got to know that Overflow, like there was some discussion to get me into Overflow, but before that happened, I got the call to join KNUST. But to me, I thought maybe I could be available for, but maybe they felt that once I've gone into this one, I mean, it's fine. So I never was part. I just did a few collaborations with them, and I was really close to them, just like I'm close to, I think, Empress too. So some people also think that I'm part of Empress, although I've never seen them singing Empress before.
Yeah. You did a rendition of Empress's song too. Yes.
No, but Free is actually Impact Project. But the Grandma, it was a fusion of the two songs. The Free is originally an Impact Project song, and then the Grandma, we put that together.
That was really nice. It's like if people did not really record it to put out there, just a live, and that was it. Well,
maybe I'll consider redoing all some of this work.
Yeah. But the way you do the covers, have you ever imagined like being a cover artist, like doing that, like something that you are doing regularly, where people will?
Yeah, I've actually thought about it. Yeah, I've actually thought about it because I love covers. I get new ideas to do covers. I have like 10 or more new covers that I haven't properly worked on. I've worked on some halfway, but which I think people really like. So for now, I want to concentrate on that. Get as many of them out as possible. So maybe in the second half of this year, I'll start putting them up.
Is there a niche for that in this country?
There is. There's a niche for anything and everything. Anything and everything. It just depends on maybe your ambition. If you think that you really want to blow or become really popular or really appeal to the masses, there are things that you can do to appeal to many people. We see an EP soon. You know, I've actually thought of that. A cover EP. I've thought of that. So, like, if you want to do something to appeal to the masses, I think there are things you can do. If you study something, there are things you can do. But me, and I'm not saying that people necessarily do things to appeal to the masses. Even if you do it, maybe there's nothing really wrong about that. But right now, for me, it's about what I feel I'm very good at doing, and I feel it's authentic to me, and I feel like people will like, because that is what I've been known for. Those are the things that have even gotten me sound. It was my covers that got me the opportunity with KNUST in the first place. So I think that, and people, you know, one thing that makes me realize that there's a niche for that is most of the singers in the space, or the space of singers, we talk about cover artists, foreign cover artists like Resound, like those groups, we've seen them, we appreciate their craft and all that. So it made me realize that there's space for that.
Yeah.
Because when you hear a song, you know, in a certain way being done in another way, it brings a new perspective. And I think people like new perspectives.
Yeah. Aside the cover,
People
should be expecting Acheampong presents maybe a single or maybe a concert, some intimate gathering. Like,
you know,
many people have been expecting that for a very long time.
Yes, and some have also asked me about that.
Yes.
Some have also asked me about it, but the usual answer I give to them is, I'm not ready for that. It will come. That's for that one. I can assure you, it will come. God has given me the blessing of being able to write some music of my own. It's still long overdue. It will come. I have some music there, but I want to, for now, focus more on my covers, on my background work. You know, let me just do a little bit of
your
that.
voices on some of the recordings, like you're on Riddled 7, you are with Mr. J. You did you went all urban on that particular one.
Which one?
You write for Impact.
Yeah,
I think they're a grateful song. Yeah. So, like, what do you think it takes for one to go solo or to decide to be an artist? Not trying to say
if you're putting yourself out as an artist, it comes with a lot of things. It is exposure.
Okay.
It's exposure. If you are deciding that you are pursuing the music ministry or in calling or career or whatever, it is exposure. It needs preparation. I know I can't tell for other people, but I see it in a certain way. I feel like I need a certain amount of preparation. I feel like if you are coming out, as a music artist, you are coming out as a representative of Jesus Christ. I mean, you have to put your house in order, because people will not only see you for your music, they will be interested in you outside your music. And it can push people away if they love your music but they don't like your attitude. They love your music but you are involved in some things, you know. So I feel like right now I cherish the obscurity I have, because it's giving me time to fully understand and fully prepare for what God wants me to do. It may not be on a big scale, it may not be a blowout thing, but whatever it is that He wants me to do, I want to be well prepared and well equipped to do it. That doesn't also say that for those who have been exposed early, I mean, you can learn on the job. There are people who are exposed early, but they are also learning things and improving themselves. I just feel like my exposure is not yet due, so to speak.
Okay. So, though you haven't gone solo, you have been very instrumental in very great ministries in the country. Like, you've worked with Presec for a very long time. You became part of Flow River from the onset. You've worked with Joe Metal, Tehila, you are there. How are you working closely with these people shaped you or influenced you in any way?
The experience with each artist is unique. It's interesting. I don't even know which angle to pick it from. It's maybe I'll just say something general, and if you want to know the specifics, maybe you can ask. But I think it's a humbling opportunity to serve. Sometimes it looks glamorous to other people, but it takes a lot. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it. Even as a background singer, there's a lot of sacrifice and commitment that goes into it. And so, but it's also a worthwhile commitment or service. And you know, the interesting thing for me is that one door to working with one artist has opened another door to another artist, another door to another artist, another door to another artist. So I've had an extensive experience with most of the artists, and personal experiences too with them. So it's a blessing too.
So the approach with leaving all of them are different.
It usually depends on the song.
Okay.
It usually depends on the song, the message of the song, and how they want it to be delivered. It also depends if it is a live project or if it is a studio project. If it is studio, it's more controlled, more calculated. So it depends. It's a case by case thing.
Yeah. How do you show up? Because I know currently you are living at Sakurade.
Mm-hmm.
But for instance, last year, like Jometto, for instance, did a tour for different cities. I saw you on all those places. Jometto, you were there. Taylor, you were there. How are you able to calm down for these things? Are you able to make it for rehearsal? Like, what does it take you to be able to be committed? Like, because I see so much commitment from your end.
The thing is,
but how easy or difficult has it been?
Yes. So the thing is, fortunately, I joined most of these teams before I came to Takoradi. Okay. And I find my way around it. I mentioned the sacrifice and the commitment of it. The journey I have to make to come for rehearsal, it's not the journey everyone else in Accra will have to make. So I'm sacrificing. I have to sacrifice something in order to be available for those things. And it's my passion. I love it. I could have said so. Now I'm in Takoradi, and it's stressful to be going up and down. It's also risky to be going up and down. So I can just give it up and be doing occasional studio works. But I've loved the ministries that have opened doors for me to work in. So I see it as it's my sacrifice to be available for those ministries. I've been here for almost 3 years now. Sometimes when I say, someone says, "Hey, I've been here for almost 3 years." So it's been one sacrifice after another sacrifice. This the Kadosh tour last year, 4 cities. They came here first, so that one the cool top for me. The venue was a walking distance from my house. Wow. So that one, but the next one, Koforidia, was one of the most difficult of them all, because when we closed, we came back to Accra. I got to Accra around 1 a.m. on a Sunday night, and I had to come back to Takoradi because I had to show up at work Monday morning. So, and that night experience was not pleasant at all. It was not pleasant at all. I sat in the car and I waited till about 3 a.m. for the car to be full. And we set off, and they decided that at every major town, they would stop and look for more people too. We go to Mankesim, they would stop for another 30 minutes. We go to Cape Coast. Like, it was so frustrating. And I had to come and sit in the office and not sleep, So all those sacrifices and all those things, people won't see them. Sometimes even the artists you are working with may not see it. But it's all part of it. If I decided that I'm doing this, I have to make sure that I'm sacrificing what I need to sacrifice in order to be available.
Are you saying that you foot the expenses for the extra like cost?
What do you mean?
But I feel like sacrifices.
Yeah.
Like come straight.
Oh, Yeah. I mean, when you play a gig, there's a monetary compensation that will come with a gig, but it's usually fair, like on a fair scale. It really doesn't take into account if you came by private car or if you took public transport. If you are coming from Takrady, you are coming from Accra, so it's usually, that's why I say it's a sacrifice, because sometimes you will expect that, or let me say, if you are expecting that your case, because your case is different, so you should treat it a certain way, it might not be so. Although I have gotten a benefit one time because of my situation.
Okay. Did you audition to be in any of these spots?
No.
We just close calls. Yeah. I thought that's bad.
Oh, but it doesn't mean that if someone auditions to, you see, people take things differently. I don't want it to look like if you auditioned, you are not special or something. No, I mean, me, for instance, my audition was my cover. But someone listened to, and Curtis called me, said, "Oh, do I want to join Christian?" And then because of some people who had heard me, someone recommended me, and they called me to join Ohimane. After that, someone also recommended me, Majwa. I mean, someone recommended me, and then they also called me for Jometo. And after that, I mean, it's been recommendation. When you work with people and they know your capabilities, they would want to maybe have you, if they have an opportunity, maybe they want to have you on board. So that has been it for me.
Yeah, I remember one night it was intellectual. We were in KNUST. We had to never send the phone outside because we were expecting one of those calls. Do you remember?
You said what?
You were expecting one of those calls. Okay. Yeah. Now you're on a bill.
One we did in
I think that night you were expecting like confirmation of some sort. But
I remember. Yes. That was a geometric confirmation.
Yes.
The geometric confirmation, yes.
Can one survive on being a PV? Is it lucrative? I know it's ministry, but let's talk about that side too.
You might be able to survive if one, you are a hot cake.
Okay.
You are well connected in the sense that you know a lot of people who trust you enough to give you opportunities. You know studio engineers who can rely on you to deliver. You might be able to get by with it, but even me, with the many opportunities that I've gotten, I see it's seasonal. In my experience, it's been seasonal. There are some seasons, even if you are not working, you don't have a 9-to-5 job or like a business or anything, you might be able to get by. So it depends. It really depends.
After these many years, you have done this. If you had to give 3 like pointers or tips for how one can be a very good background vocalist, like what would they be?
Background vocalist.
Yeah.
Okay. To be a good background vocalist, you need to learn how to sing with people. And what I mean is, you need to learn how to be a team player vocally. You need to learn how to blend with people. You need to learn how to balance with people. And these are all just in the sense of singing with people. Some people are very lead singer type. When they sing background, their voices, how do I put this, overshadows in an unpleasant way. You need to be able to adjust to suit what the song demands. If you're a lead singer, I mean, you present the song in the style that is usually unique to you. But as a background vocalist, you have to. I think it's more difficult to be a background vocalist sometimes than, in fact, it be difficult depending on the practice. But with background vocals, you need to be able to, like I was saying, you need to be able to adjust your vocals to what the song is demanding. If we are demanding a soft feel, and we give you no. If you are used to being a hard singer, there are people who are used to being, when they get the mic, like they are powerhouses. They can't tone down. They can't soften up. Such people will find it difficult doing backup. And backup is really nice. Backup is really enjoyable. Sometimes too, if you are a backup singer, it will demand certain parts of your range. Sometimes we are all singing very low. Sometimes we are all singing very high. Is your range like able to handle all these things? So all these demands are there, which you should be able to adjust to suit. It's not all about being able to do riffs and runs. I know some very good background singers who really don't do riffs and runs as soloists, but when they do background, they are solid. And one other important thing too is your tone. Your tone. There are things you can do to work on your tone, I'm sure. So that one too.
I want to talk about like how versatile you are. So I was saying that at one time you're on Pen TV singing Acheampong. Another time you are giving us blues and jazz. Then at another time you are on Mr. J's song and you're giving us air band.
Mr. J.
Yeah. How do you do it? How do you do it?
I think that, like I think I mentioned it earlier, the foundation of that is me being wide in my listening. And I listen to enjoy, but I find myself imitating. It's not I think that it's not every genre that I might be able to execute well, but I've picked up one or two things that can make me probably flourish in various situations. So so I think that has basically been it. Listening wide, experimenting. I like to experiment. Like sometimes I pick a song and I will try it in just different time signatures. And usually the time signature to there are some time signatures that are in certain genres, like 6/8 usually is in swing, or so you find flourish there. I experiment a lot with songs, so that also gives me some kind of
Our way, apart from like the Jometos and the Mamesi that we see you visibly like working with them, you have worked on like a number of songs. You've done background, vocally directed most of them. I know I'm asking so many questions, like I'm expected to do so much, but do you think, no, not do you think, are you going to, at any point in time, have a studio where it's mainly for vocal production? Because I spoke to Mine Joy, and she says anytime she's working on a song, you're the one that does it for her. Like, I've probably seen some videos where you are in the studio with Efe and co. So it's like, it's something that is there, but are we going to see that? So, okay, I'm asking the question well. So now, I know when people are getting you to do these things, it's like referrals. If you had a studio or it was out there, people can know that, oh, if I don't get this person, Prince is also there, Prince can also do it, that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this anything like that you have in but you
Yes,
get it.
yes. It's a very good idea. I mean, because I love vocal production. I love vocal production. So it would give me the space to even explore more, to bring my ideas, to share my ideas, to tap into other people's skills, and it's a good idea. It will happen. Hopefully, it will happen.
Let's talk about some of your songs.
It will not be what we are supposed to do for sure.
Okay. Asumje, you did it with Impact.
Yeah.
Did you write the song?
Yes, I wrote 80% of that song.
That song. It's a very beautiful song, honestly.
Thank you.
It's a very beautiful song. But can you share
I listened to it recently. Yeah. I was listening to it recently. I was like, this song, we need to do a video.
Yes. Then I'm in trouble with Christine. You said you were going to get a video of that song, but it never came.
It's unfortunate. I think the people who produced the video, they had some issues. So some portions of that concert we couldn't get.
Okay. You didn't write that one, but you sang it like
Then I'm is an amazing songwriter. See, yes. I mean, me too, Chamano. Like the songs, the lyrics. Yes. He's a big inspiration. Some of the songs for that album, he gave us the opportunity to contribute writing ideas, like those things. And me, I was just during all those sessions, I was just taking it in. Like I was just taking everything in. So it was a nice experience. I did not write that song. It's Kwesioteng. Hallelujah. It's all Kwesioteng. But the leading, giving the song to me to lead was on the spot. We never rehearsed it. Really? I don't know why KO did that. The other time, one time I had a conversation with him in the car. I asked him, KO, why did you leave me to lead the song? Because I thought, with the other two lead singers, not really like two of the songs, the lead singers just sang they sang certain portions of the song, and then he would take the song and then continue. But after I sang, if the video had come out, you would have probably seen that I just looked back to see where, KO, like Brabeji were there. With Janium number, I was so nervous. I don't remember opening my eyes because if we had rehearsed it, I mean, I would have gotten some confidence. But I did not. We didn't rehearse it, and we didn't even do sound check. We didn't even sound check. So the first time I sang it was the first time everyone heard it.
But it doesn't mean like come off as this is something that was very random.
I'm glad it doesn't come off like that. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad it doesn't come off like that. But that was the situation. It was so nerve-wracking. So I asked him, why did he leave me to do it? And he told me that he trusted me. He trusted that I would be able to handle it. And I was just amazed. Like, how many times will an artist leave his song for you because you are a background singer? Yours is just to help with the, and then he leaves the song to you, and he says that he trusts that you can handle the song. My goodness, that was a confidence boost for me. Yeah.
Then, as for Kron Kron with Impact, you wrote that song.
No, Kron Kron, I didn't write that song. Kron Kron was written by Jesse. No.
Okay.
Jesse, another amazing songwriter. Jesse was the one I wrote Asumje with.
Okay. And Your Love,
I wrote it.
You wrote it.
Yes.
Because there is the beginning. Remember you did that ham on Drama Praise Day? Yeah.
Yes.
Ideas never die. I'm sorry for those who might not know the songs. When I edit it, I'll put them in so you know the song we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That song actually, it was one time Impact Project. We went out for it was an outing, and for the last part of that outing, the leaders decided, let's have a competition. Let's have a songwriting competition. So they divided us into 3 groups and told us all to just go off for 5 minutes. Let's put ideas together. Each person should come with a song. And we sat down, and I remember, and it's interesting, just saying this, they took note of it. It's like you do honor, yes, Prince. Mimi group no. So by the grace of God, I was able to come up with something, and then everyone agreed. And then we went. And unfortunately for us, we were the last group to present our song. So the first group sang, they did well, brought guitar and things. The second group also sang. And then we sang. And when we sang, everybody loved it. So they decided we should make it into a full Impact song, which didn't happen until much later.
I've heard so much about Impact projects, and the last time I spoke with he spoke about how that was Niabi. That place like
Niabi.
Yeah, it's like a grooming ground. That's how, from the conversation I'm having with you people, that's how I see it. And then you mention names, I'm like, all these people pass through Impact. Yeah. But
that's my only I don't want to say problem. That's my only issue. That has been my only issue. But I mean, it being a grooming grounds also taught me a lot, also shaped me, also brought out a lot in me. Because fortunately for me, I've realized that the people have given me an opportunity to bring out my ideas, to bring out, if giving me the opportunity, I won't come in shit. So I think that has also helped me. But some people don't get the opportunity. They are very good. They join a choir or they join a team. The MD doesn't like them or is probably jealous of them, not clearly. So will not give them the opportunity. It's also a problem for some people, but fortunately for me, I didn't get that.
I believe that's not been your experience at every other place. There are places that's not
almost everywhere in my church choir. When I joined, it was exposure that brought me into my church choir. The MD at that time gave me a solo to sing. He had not heard me really well, but he knew I was. I don't know how. He gave me a solo to sing at a major church program, Alabaster Box by Titi Winans, and at that time my voice was a virgin voice. So all the high, I did it in the original key. Sang it. And it was after that he brought me into the choir. So he had already shown everybody that this is what the guy can do. So he bring me into the choir. I had no issues with anybody. Everyone welcomed me. If anybody didn't like me, they didn't let me see it. I wouldn't have cared anyway. And the subsequent MDs, Cynthia, Cynthia really gives me the opportunity. When I joined Voice of Pentecost, sometimes Clifford will make me, some comments will even pass, will make it look like, but and you know me, those things, it make me uncomfortable because I'm also thinking of what other people, the others too who are there, how does it, yes, so Maria did Alabaster Box in the original key, so they always give me that opportunity. When I join Impact Project, they are giving me leads, they are giving me solos. So that's how it has been.
So what has been your biggest inspiration both in Ghana and beyond Ghana? And how inspire you? Yeah. Do you have any, or are you your own inspiration?
So I won't say I'm my own inspiration. I am my own competition. I'm not my own inspiration. Okay, so I can be my own inspiration because I'm my own competition. But aside that, I have a lot of people who inspire me musically, and the most obvious of them is Richard Smallwood. Although music hasn't necessarily influenced how I sing or how I write or how I what do you call it, arrange music. He has been a big inspiration. I think his impact has been more spiritual than physical, but also a lot physical. So he has been a big inspiration. Donny McLecken has been a big inspiration. Don Moen has been a big inspiration. And Don Moen, I'm even loving his music more now than back then. I have a whole catalog of his music now, and I really dive into his music. And I love the choir masters. I like Ricky Dillard, Don Lawrence, just a little bit of Ketka, not really into Ketka, but I like the choir masters. Yeah. And then the local, I could look out there a lot. Look out there a lot. Kofi Abraham, Mama Esther, Daughters of Lord Jesus, my favorite, Yao Sapon. Like, I find I get something from all these people.
Greg says, God bless you. You've been an epic inspiration to him and a representation of hope for our music industry.
Thank you so much.
Bless you. Yeah.
Thank you. Amen.
When all is said and done, what would you want to be remembered for?
Like I'm saying, for many things, because I believe that people can impact, like a person can impact people in different ways. Someone may not have heard my singing, but may have experienced my kindness. Someone may never interact with me personally, but will see my demeanor from afar and be inspired by it. So it depends on the reception, like how the person is receiving or what the person is receiving, the need of the person and what the person is receiving. Because sometimes you will be humble, but your humility will not be noticeable. I don't know if I'm making sense with this example, but I just want to say that sometimes the need of a person, if you just so happen to be able to meet it, will make a lot of impact in the person's life, as opposed to if you have money or you don't need something, I'm being kind to you, you may not appreciate it so much. Okay. I hope I'm making sense. But what I'm trying to say is that everyone has various points of need, which I hope I will be able to be a blessing to.
Your last words.
Hey. Last words. I will be coming out with some new covers, and I hope your interest in covers is still there, so that when I bring them out, you will hopefully like them, and hopefully it will be a blessing to you. You will enjoy them also.
Prince, thank you so much. It's been like a couple of years, and I'm always thankful just that I met you. Like, I know aside that, you have poured into me so many times and you have been supportive of me. Like, everything I've done, like, Prince has always been there too. Amen. And I know most people have similar experiences, so I know that it is who you are, and it is about singing a song by Inspire.
Thank you, Selom. This has been interesting. I was wondering how the conversation will go this time, because I don't know. And we didn't have any prior conversation.
Yes.
So I was just, but this has been fun. Yeah. Thank you.
I enjoyed myself. Thank you too. Bye. I got it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Da, da. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Da, da.